Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Tiki, our next guest, he's there. Outstanding running back, seven Pro Bowls, a couple of old pros as well. And let's face it, we've had him on a million times. When he was healthy, he was as good as there's ever been. I mean, really, when he was healthy, a two-way threat, nobody was better than this guy. Marshall Faulk is back with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. Marshall, how you doing today, man? What's up?
Tiki, Tierney, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. How you guys doing?
We are
doing
outstanding, man. We're excited for the start of this season, and there's so many interesting things to talk about. All the young quarterbacks, and I guess some of these teams that are expected to rise. It's really hard to find a team that's going to be horribly bad, except for Jacksonville, but that's probably not their case. But that's not their fault. But when you think about this NFL season and what we went through last year, and the expectations that kind of fell apart for some teams, this 2021 season is maybe one of the most important ones the NFL's had in a long time.
It is, and I'm listening to you talk about it, and I'm thinking about, I've never been excited to see the Cincinnati Bengals play.
That's right. That's right. Seriously, and now I want to see him play.
Yeah, and I had, after Tampa, I had enough of watching Jameis Winston, but I want to see him play. I want to see what happens there. I want to see what unfolds in Minnesota. Is Kirk Cousins, are they going to continue to pay this man to just be average? It's so many things. At the Bears, when are they going to put Justin Fields in? There's so many little nuances.
That's right. Matt Stafford on your old team.
You know this better than me. I was going to finish with that one, but we can talk about it because it's like this here. Stafford, was it Detroit or was it you?
Yeah.
We're ready to find out now because you're with the guy who knows how to coach quarterbacks and he makes the game simple. And I think one of the bigger ones, it's big. There's two big ones, and we're not talking about it. First of all, Green Bay, what happened with Aaron Rodgers? You understand how sometimes those things mess up the locker room, but you don't really know how much until you get in the heat of the battle. I want to see what happens there.
Yeah,
but the big one is this here. Everybody forgot that the Dallas Cowboys did not want to pay Dak Prescott before he got hurt. And now all the state of Texas is dependent on him to just save the season this year.
It's a lot of people.
Wait, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people with a lot of expectations for a defense that was just sliced
Abysmal.
up every single series a year ago. I mean, man, I thought I was excited coming in to do the show this week. I mean, you just hit 6 or 7 of these palpable storylines. I don't know where to go. But
that's just like a little sliver.
Well, I'm going to go somewhere you didn't go, and I'm very curious how you see the Ravens situation, okay? So they lost their top running back, then they lost their backup. We know Lamar didn't throw the ball as well as he did the prior season when he won the MVP. So a little something to prove there. But with the, I would imagine, anticipated drop-off in running around Lamar Jackson, how does that actually impact him on Sundays? I would think somewhat strongly, but what's your opinion?
Well, I'm going to say this to Lamar. You have to be better as a passer. Let's just call it out. He's dynamic, his legs, all that. We're talking about the running backs. This ain't got nothing to do with their running backs. It ain't got nothing to do with their running game. You can put anybody back there. They can go get Mark Ingram and put him back there. He could actually run for 1,000+. This is about him getting better as a passer. So when they get to the playoffs, the game is what it is for him because nobody is going to allow him to beat them with his legs only. We coddling him. We got young guys coming in, slinging the ball around like crazy. The Baltimore Ravens are only going to go as far as Lamar, his ability to understand concepts, deliver the ball on time, and throw the ball down the field.
Are you convinced he makes that progress this year?
I need some games this season because last season he went backwards. I need some games this season. And here's the reality. Listen, Pittsburgh got better.
Yep.
Cleveland got better. Cincinnati got better. They don't have these layup games that they used to have now. It ain't just Pittsburgh and Baltimore no more.
The NFC West is as deep and complicated to figure out as any in football. I mean, Seattle should be good. The 49ers should be good. Obviously, the Rams should be there as well. Arizona maybe has some question marks because Cliff Kingsbury hasn't proven it quite yet. But, you mentioned what Sean McVay is going to do for Matt Stafford. And I'm sure you've spent some time with him, so you understand, the outside zone, which you and I loved a lot when we were playing because it was one cut. You could cut back and do all kinds of different things. But when we look at, the division itself, how do you rise to the top when it's that tight? Every team feels like they could win on any given week against their division opponents.
Yeah, you know what? It comes down to quarterback play. And if you look at it, if you look at the dynamic of those teams, and it's easy. Listen, all of them play good D. They have sporadic offenses that can actually put up points. But when the quarterback turns the football over, it killed the Rams last year.
Yep.
Early in the season, it hurt Seattle. Russell was turning the ball over. Later in the season, Kyler Murray started turning the football over. When you look at it, Garoppolo started turning the ball over. It's an issue that they have because all of these teams defensively, they play pretty strong and they're pretty stout. They have some game changers on defense, and you have to account for those guys. I think it comes down to quarterback play, man. This is why Matthew Stafford was brought in and Jared Goff. It was like, oh no, we've seen this before. Yep, no, you got to go.
Yeah, we have a chance to upgrade. I'm sorry, dude. We're going to take it.
You have to go. And think about the last time that you saw this, right?
Yeah.
Two young quarterbacks, 1 and 2, great starts, both go to Super Bowls. Both be on new teams within like a 4 or 5 year span.
Yeah. Talking about Carson Wentz and Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare. It's very, very rare.
If not unprecited. It might be.
I think it is
on the history of the league.
Believable.
And by the way, both with $100 million contracts, right? So it's not like they were not paid yet. No. When you think about like I guess it's a reclamation project, I guess, and I feel bad for Jared Goff, to be perfectly honest with you, because Detroit's not ready to win at all. I mean, there could be a scenario where Jared Goff is just not a relevant QB in the NFL in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? It's almost like Super Bowl, you $100 million contract, you could do whatever you want to. All right, go hang out in Detroit for a couple of years, and maybe nobody wants you, right? It's kind of crazy to think about that.
Maybe this is a situation that he needs to do the developing and growing, because when he got thrown in St. Louis the last part of Fisher's season, it was okay. And then McVay came in, and it was like, hey, we need this kid to perform now. And I don't know if he ever developed. I don't know if he, I tell people, the year that I played with Peyton Manning and he threw 27 interceptions, there was so much data collected and so much information that he processed that he needed to have. And then the next year, he went 13-3. If you don't have those years, it's almost like you can't grow in this game. I mean, you were there. You were there. You actually saw. You saw what Eli went through at the beginning.
That's right.
And he processed that. And you have to be able to deal with that as a young quarterback, and then take that data and go out and play your brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he got a chance to do that, and hopefully he get a chance to do it in Detroit.
So we're talking to Marshall Faulk, NFL Hall of Fame running back, Super Bowl champ as well, Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio. All right, Marshall, I want to push it into the, let's say we're, instead of getting ready for the 2021 season, we're sitting here, we're getting ready for the 2023 season. Incorporating everything, injury, running style, who is the more viable star a couple of years down the road? Is it C-Mac or is it Derrick Henry?
Oh, I'm going with C-Mac.
Always. That was quick.
Yeah.
That was quick. Okay.
Listen, when you have more than one way to affect the game, you last long. He'll tell you this.
Yep.
Listen, it's not just about pounding the ball. At some point in time, you can only take so many hits. You can only take so many hits, and you're not going to put Derrick in. You're not going to put him in at and third down.
In the slot.
Do what?
No, but Marshall, let me ask you a question. I don't feel as if I see Derrick Henry getting hit at all. I feel like he's just running away from people.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this. It's not the hits you see, it's the hits you don't see that get you as a running back.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's the big guys falling on you. It's the your 300-pounder and they 300-pounder falling on top of you that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's all of that stuff.
Yeah, you never come through
all of that stuff.
Yeah, you never come through a game completely clean.
Gotcha.
Even if it doesn't look like you got big hits, you never come clean. I think one of the steals.
You're doing a play fake.
Yeah,
they give you a play fake and you get hit.
Oh, dude, I'm doing the game this weekend, the Carolina game this weekend, and one of the keys is like you got to hit Christian McCaffrey, man. You got to make him feel it, even if he doesn't have the rock. I mean, that's one thing I hated. I hated it, Marshall, because I caught a lot of passes. So whenever I'd go out for a pass, they're attacking me, even if I don't have the football, right? And so, disrupting guys that way is a definite way to get inside their head. I think the running back position it's really interesting because some teams will say, well, we don't need one. Other teams will say, well, you got to have one. The Cleveland Browns have two, and Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and when I think about the next team to rise out of wherever doldrums they've been in. Cleveland started it last year. Can they continue that? Like, the expectation is now there. It's not, let's hope the Cleveland Browns are good. The Cleveland Browns are good. How do they take their next step?
It comes from consistent quarterback play. And now they have to deal with a personality that they have back. And can that personality put a button on it, realizing, okay, here's what they did without me. And if I don't get featured, I just got to go run routes because it's not about you. That's the difficult part about this. Hey, you know what? We running the ball well. I got to block. Today, I'm gonna be the best blocker on the field. I'm not the best route runner right now. I'm not the best. We're not throwing it, and that if anything happens, we found out that Baker is actually a pretty good quarterback when he doesn't have to force feed someone.
That's true.
And so now it's literally up to OBJ to okay, let's play ball. This is a big deal, man. It's like, and he could end up being a hero because they could go out, they could run it, they could play smash mouth, they could feature the guys that they have, and all of a sudden he starts getting one-on-one coverage.
Yeah.
And he just goes nuts. Yeah, that's possible.
Yes.
It's listen,
you got to play it that way, man.
Yeah.
You got to play it that way.
Well, we'll see if he's in the business of winning. He's always been in the business of self-glorification. Let's see if he actually wants to win football games. A little sacrifice,
I hear you. I'm going to say this, not to defend him. He's a team guy. It's just that a lot of wide receivers get put in that category. I mean, Jerry Rice was in that category. Michael Irvin was in that category. I mean, I'm talking about greats, not just good guys. Great.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Terrell Owens was in that category.
Yeah.
A lot of
Randy
guys
Moss.
get put in that category.
Yeah.
Randy Moss. A lot of guys get put in that category, and people think that they're not about the team. Just remember, man, they gotta go all the way out there. They're not even a part of the team most of the time. So they feel so removed and so isolated. But I'm going to tell you, all of those guys' names that I mentioned, and including OBJ, they team guys.
Yeah.
They're team guys.
Oh, okay. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.